What is up, guys? Boris here, and today I'm coming to you guys with a very special video. I have finally defeated the Whitebeard Training Island on Japan, and I did it with a global only team. So today I'm bringing you guys my commentary over the other edited footage, of course. This is going to be a long video, so sit tight and just I guess enjoy. Now, like I said, this is a global only team, as it only has global units, but there's one exception. I am using the Sunny Go. Global will be getting that in about 2 story islands for free, but even if you do not have the Sunny Go, I'll show you what you can do to go ahead and do it. Is you can use the same team. It's just there's one turn where it's a difference, but it's not that big of a deal, as you'll see. Also, as you notice, I went ahead and used Usopp on the Thatch level, and Namuel, you can take him out in 2 turns. Now, when it comes to the team itself, it does have sockets, so that is one potential difference, especially with the Rayleigh, since there's a harder socket early on. But you don't really need anything past Silence, level 1, for Vista on the 19th floor. So if you have Silence level 1, maybe your Usopp and Dofi are silenced and chain sockets on them, then you should be fine. And for the most part, that's really all you need crucially for the dungeon. So aside from that, the only main difference is that I do recover about 100 per turn, I believe. And I do have some matching orb sockets, so that's going to be the only difference. But sockets are now on global, so you guys will be able to get that eventually. So like I said, this is a very difficult dungeon, and let me just say that overall, I think this is a pretty good run, except for the final room, which I mess up so badly on the final room, but I still end up defeating it. So as you can see, that you do have a little bit of leeway there. And just go ahead and make sure to take out Flamenco there. Now, like I said, I messed up pretty badly on the second room, but sorry, on the final room. But using this strategy, I think you guys can do it. It just takes a little bit of luck, take a little bit of orb luck. And then the other thing to keep in mind is that all of my units are max special, which is going to be very important for the home stretch. Usopp, Perona, and Alvida need to be max special. And Dofi can have 1 or 2 skill ups away from max special, I believe. So here it's very important that you take out Curiel first, because he will, well, it's not very, but he'll blind you for about 20 turns, I think, or something. So if you get him below 50%. So make sure to take him out, and then make sure to take out Fossa as well. I went ahead and used the Golden Pound Usopp, of course, in this room, as you can see. And I consider using Alvida, but I said screw it, man. Let's just go ahead and use this. And yeah, I ended up taking him out. He doesn't do that much damage. Well, actually, I think he does do a bit, but it's not that big of a deal. Now, the reason that it isn't that big of a deal is because in this room, you can use the meat orbs from Izo to heal back up if you've taken any damage in the previous rooms. Now, like I said, this is the one room where the Sunny really helps out, because you can go ahead and use Rayleigh plus the Sunny to take out the guys in the back. But if you don't have the Sunny, what you can do is go ahead and use both Rayleigh specials, and then that will leave them in range for a simple attack from each of your characters, so you can go ahead and heal and take them out at the same time. And also you have Izo, which you can take a hit from. He doesn't do that much, so if you can take him out in two turns, that's perfect. If not, you can go ahead and take a hit. It's not that big of a deal. Now next up is Vista. I believe he'll lower the occurrence of yellow orbs and meat orbs, and he will shuffle your orbs as well. So don't worry about setting up orbs for him. And again, you have 2 turns, and it's going to be pretty tough to take him out in 2 turns. So go ahead and use Alvida and tank 1 hit, and you should be able to take him out in 3 turns after this. So you have 3 attacks to take him out. Granting, you get really bad orb luck, you can tank another hit. It's not that big of a deal. He doesn't do that much on this stage. But again, try to take him out in those 2 cycles if you can. Other than that, Vista's pretty straightforward. It doesn't really do anything weird or anything like that. So just you'll see here, I'm going to take him out in 2 turns. And we're getting close to the end here. We're getting close to the end, but as you can see, this video is a very long one. So as you get closer to the end, the levels start taking a lot longer. So this Jozu level is pretty tricky. So the first thing you got to do is go ahead and use Golden Pound Usopp to stall them for 3 turns. And then once you have a green orb on either Dofi or on Perona, go ahead and use the Perona special. And what you're gonna do with the trick here is target the blue lobster. Manual target him. You're gonna go ahead and attack with 3 guys, and then the 4th guy is either one of the green people who doesn't have a green orb. Then the 5th attack should take out, try to use a Rayleigh, and that will take out the red lobster. And the 6th attack will be Dofi, and I'll take out Dofi or Perona, whichever one has the green orb. Then after that, you're gonna want to attack these guys. Now the yellow lobster will go down to a chain of perfects from your Rayleighs. And then the other 2, you do need an orb on either Rayleigh or Dofi to take them out with perfects. You can get 1 great potentially, depending on cotton candy maybe. As you can see here, with 1 great, I'm able to do it. So I'm not sure if it requires cotton candy or not. And no, don't want to know what I was thinking there with Dofi. So what you're gonna want to do is try to stall this out. As you can see, you have somewhere around 4 to 5 turns. I think it depends. You can have different types of cooldowns on these guys. So as you saw me earlier, I went for the one with the lower cooldown, and I went ahead and stalled on this guy. But I said screw it, man. Actually, I said screw it and just went ahead and did that. So this Marco right here, what you're gonna want to do is try to take him out and use Alvida to actually tank one of his hits. And if you could 2-cycle him, that would be perfect because he does deal a good amount of damage, somewhere probably in the 6 to 7k range. I'm not entirely sure. And if you do use Alvida, which I recommend use Alvida to go ahead and tank one of his hits, then all you really need is 1 meat orb to heal back to full. So it's not that big of a deal. And one important thing to note is that I do recommend that you try to go ahead and farm for a green orb, which is going to be very helpful in the next room because we're going to be using Dofi right away to try to take out Ace. So if you can farm for a green orb, that will help you out tremendously going into the pretty much the sub room, the mini boss room, where pretty much I take on 5 guys at once. So there you go. I see I tanked with Alvida, and now I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna try to keep. Well, I guess I didn't keep the green orb. It's kind of tough because Marco does recover about 90,000 every single turn. So trying to deal damage without attacking with everyone is really tough. But as you see here, I'm going to go ahead and take out everyone. I heal back to full, and I'm ready to go. So luckily, I see I got the green orb. Unfortunately, I didn't get any other greens or purples. So what you're going to see me do here is going to go ahead and try to take out Ace. Now I'm going to use my last attack to hit Ace, and then use my first hot attack to take out Ezo, because Ezo is on the lower cooldown as well as Ace. So it's kind of tricky. I'm not a big fan of manual targeting, but they are right next to each other, so it's one of those things where it's not that big of a deal. Go ahead and use my specials here. They actually they do the Sunny does a good amount of damage, and then the 2 Rayleighs do a amount of damage as well. And there's a car outside, so rip. And like I said, try to use your last attack on Ace. Go ahead and try to use that green orb on Ace, and use everyone else on Ezo. As you see there, actually go ahead and use Usopp as my 5th attacker, so it makes transitioning over to Ace a lot easier. And then I'll go ahead and pop the other Rayleigh special. You can either save these for the next room or use them now. Doesn't matter. I probably should just save them to deal a little bit more damage to Marco in the next room, but it's fine. And now you have 3 turns to take out Ezo and Ace. 3 turns left. You see here, I'm taking out Ezo next turn. So then I'm going to go ahead and focus on Raikuyo, who's going to be pretty easy to take down due to having Rayleigh on the team. And then all that will be left after that is Vista. And this is where things start to get a little complicated. You got to make sure you sequence your specials in the correct order. Now, what you're going to do is that it's going to be pretty hard to take out Vista in these 2 turns. Unless you get like perfect orbs or whatever, you're not going to be able to take it out. So what I recommend is you're going to tank the first hit from Vista. And now this will do 10,000 damage. That's a lot. Well, it's a little bit, I think it's like 9,000 or something. But it does somewhere in that range of damage. So you want to go ahead and take this first hit, which is why it's important that you heal, to full in the Marco room or whatever, and Joe's room as well. Then you're gonna go ahead and use Perona special, and that will allow you to tank the hit from Blamenco. Now I believe that you're gonna need somewhere around 1300 damage, 1300 HP. to tank the hit from Flamenco with the Perona buff. Now once you do tank it, you'll have around 2 turns to take out Vista. That's going to be pretty important. You're going to want to take him out for sure. And now you'll have everything set up. At this point, you're going to need to get about 1 or 2 meat orbs, and this is where the luck really comes in. If you're going to want to have enough health to tank a Flamenco hit through Alvida, so I think it's around 26 to 2800, I'm not exactly sure how much, I forgot how much, but definitely, as you can see there, I got that meat orb. This is probably where the luck is needed the most, and you know, if you don't get it, then just reset and try again. You know, it's not that big of a deal. But for the most part, you should be able to get it. So you need an average of about 1 meat orb every 3 turns from now on. So, you know, hopefully luck will be on your side. And now, as you see, I'm going ahead and used Alvida. This is going to give me 3 more turns of stall. Our point here is to try to get Dofi as close to max as possible. We should max him. We should have him maxed back when we get back into the room. And the reason is because we get these Golden Pound Usopp here. Now, it's important to use him here because, again, you need to get close to, you know, get Dofi as close as possible to having his special up. And the fact that the final room will have a debuff protector for, I think it's about 8 turns. I'm not entirely sure. So you're not going to be able to use Usopp anyways for the beginning of that fight. So your goal for the next 5 turns should be to try to heal up as much as possible. Now Whitebeard, when you do into that room, will cut your HP by 2/3, and you'll need around 4k to tank his first hit with Alvida. So you get to max health, you will be able to tank that hit without having to get any meat orbs on the first couple rooms. But more than likely, you will need a 1 or 2 meat orbs. You can see here I got it there. So, you know, just the more HP you end up getting, the less you have to rely on meat orbs in this room. That's really important because you're going to need as much damage as you can during these next 3 turns. Now, we have to take out Marco and Jozu. And you're going to need a green orb to be able to try to take out Jozu. And I believe that Whitebeard will actually shuffle your orb when you enter the room. So you have to rely on the orb like there as well. But as you see here, I'm going to go ahead and use my first turn to take out as much health as I can from Marco. And then I'm going to go ahead, as you see, I have the green orbs now. So I'm going to go ahead and use Doflamingo. This is why it's very important that we try to have him up in time. And this is the beginning of the mistakes. I made so many mistakes in this. I sort of wish that it would have ended at room 19. But I still managed to clutch it out. So that's why I'm saying you guys will have a lot of free leeway when it comes to this room. Now, I meant to target Marco here and attack with all of them. And then once he was out, take out Dofi. But I messed up. So this does allow me to take out Jozu. However, now I have to take out Marco this turn, or I pretty much am dead. I could tank a hit from him, but the problem is that I would not be able to deal enough damage to Whitebeard. I would lose out on a lot of turns there. So thankfully, I did manage to take out Marco. And this is when things start to get super crazy because only Whitebeard is left. And at this point, I know that I'm gonna have it in the bag. I just gotta not mess up a lot. And that's exactly what started happening. My hands were starting to shake a ton. I was getting really nervous, and this was like one of those things where I didn't really calm down and take a breath. But it's crazy because I was on the verge of getting the Whitebeard ship. And as you can see here, I mess up a lot. I do a lot of misses and grades. So as long as you are doing well, as long as you're doing fine with your hits, you should be able to do it without the orb luck that I got at the end. I got a ridiculous orb streak on Rayleigh at the end, which allowed me to take it out despite all the mistakes. But overall, what you want to do is go ahead and use your specials at the right moment. So there you just saw me use, I believe it was Perona, all right? And so now I'll have Usopp up for the next cycle. And then after that, I'll actually have enough health, I believe, after a meat orb to tank another hit with Alvida. So I have another 8 turns to do like 80%. And at this point, I was starting to get really worried. I actually thought I had messed it up at this point. I didn't think I could do it, but was it spoiler alert? Obviously, I did end up beating it. So I can't really say anything else at this point. Once you're above that 4,000 health again, don't worry about any meat orbs. Just go out and do all-out attack, and then go ahead and use Usopp. Now at this point, the run is winding down, so I do want to mention a couple things about this team. First off, like I said, this is a global-only team, or only global unit team, so you guys should be able to run it on global. And in fact, a couple of my friends have already beat it on global with this team. They're actually the ones who recommended it to me. So shout out to Ratalia for really guiding me through, you know, teaching me all I need to use all the specials and how much health I need and all this stuff. It's pretty crazy, but once you start to get the hang of it, you should be able to run it a lot actually. And yeah, I mean, there's not much to it. Like I said, you guys should definitely try it out if you have the units. However, again, Usopp, Perona, and Alvida do need to be max special, max cooldown to be able to do all this, to be able to have all these turns to attack. Now, here, the final special of the level, of the run, let's go ahead and use Alvida, take the last hit. And as you see here, I got a pretty crazy streak of orbs at the end on my Rayleigh, so, I mean, I got pretty lucky. I'm not going to say I didn't. But again, you saw me mess up a lot in the beginning. I ended up losing a lot of damage. So hopefully you guys will hit your perfects and you should be fine. So at this point, I'm starting to feel a lot better. I'm not as nervous. And things are starting to get back to normal. And we have 2 turns here to finish him off. And at this point, I'm not gonna lie, I calmed down and then I got so nervous again because I got the purple orb. I knew that if I hit all perfects, I could get it. And I was all coming down to this, and I actually ended up goofing up and actually hit 2 greats. And at this point, I was about to cry, but there we go, guys. We got it. We got the Whitebeard ship, man. So close to failing, but we got the ship anyways. And yeah, the Moby Dick. This is a pretty ridiculous ship. Really nice for Coliseum and other 0 stamina. So with that said, guys, thanks a lot for watching. And until next time, peace.